Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. You're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture commentary. I'm Seven, we have Drew, and we have Corey. How you guys doing today?
Alright.
Alrighty. So we're going to jump into some new movies coming out, some trailers, and stuff that we've been watching, and stuff that we will talk about during our next show. So let's start out with Wonder Man, because that's been kind of lackluster being promoted. Like they're promoting it, but then they're not.
You can call it lackluster, I guess. It's just I'm not quite sure what they're going for. They've been it's a trailer, but it's a very vague trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it does give you kind of some basic information. I guess they're going meta with the idea that Wonder Man in the world of the Marvel Universe, because it's a Marvel property. We'll start there. Wonder Man is a Marvel Comics character. But I guess in this iteration of it, in the MCU, he was a fictional sci-fi superhero in that world that the director is now trying to remake because nothing is sacred. Again, it's kind of self-aware in that it knows that how morally and then bankrupt for ideas Hollywood is.
Right.
So it's the reboot engine, and the director is like going through a whole casting process. And our main character is what's the actor's name? I've seen him in plenty of stuff by now.
Mm-hmm. He was
he's in.
He was in Aquaman.
Yeah, he played Black Manta in Aquaman. He's been in a few things. He was in the Candyman, one of the latest ones.
Mm-hmm.
Good actor. I can't recall his name. Sorry. We can find it though.
Mm-hmm.
He's, I guess, an actor that wants that role, and it seems like this show, there is no action here. There is no supervillainy stuff that we can see from this first trailer. It's just kind of the setup of him being called in for an audition. They're at some weird, alienated, isolated spot with the director, and I think it's gonna maybe then dovetail into the superhero stuff, where it's like not so meta. It's like, oh yeah, he's actually a real guy. But you can't quite tell from this trailer. It just kind of ends
Abdul Mateen.
Yes, and I wouldn't have remembered his name. That's why, because he's got a mouthful. But
the second,
yeah, it's like there's a second added in there. But it's just the same. Good actor. I've liked him in the stuff that he's been in.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
I see him leading something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm for it. I'm not like nagging anything about it. I can't say that when you say like lackluster, Seven, I ultimately can't say it's lackluster because I don't quite know what they're going for with this one yet.
Well, that's the thing. They haven't been pushing it hard enough. Like they really believe this is going to be a success. You know how like Superman, they beat you down like it's coming. They're not doing that with this at all.
Well, it's Wonder Man versus Superman. Wonder Man as a character has never been nearly as popular as Superman. So you're going to have that buzz off rip.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it might be because it could be they're like kind of wanting to be low key about it because they know it's not very good. But it also could be the fact. But to be fair, I'm not going to just completely like throw it under the bus.
Right.
It could also be they're experimenting with something a little different. If this is going the more meta route of it starts off as kind of like more a I don't know, like an audition type of process thing where it's a fictional thing, but it's about an audition. There's comedy elements. But then at some point, after the necessary players get to a location, something else could happen. Then we could get into the superhero paranormal stuff that what may exist in this universe. We know it's in there somewhere because it's a superhero property.
Right.
But when?
So do you think it's kind of like this is fake, he's auditioning, but you're really auditioning for something real. And we're going to give you powers. Yeah.
It's like that 80s joint, The Last Starfighter. Remember that movie?
Right.
It was a video game on our world, but the creators of the game were actually like scientists and stuff that were doing actual space stuff, and they used the game as a recruiting method. The movie could be that.
Okay.
The lead for the film could be chosen to be the next guy, and it could be our boy who ends up getting the role.
Okay. I can see that.
Kind of different. Kind of different, right? So if that's where they're going, we'll see.
We'll see. And you guys were able to check out Alice in Borderland. This is season 3?
Season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3. Yeah, man. Corey, kick it off.
if you haven't seen season 1 and 2, you're slacking because this is probably the best season of the series. They definitely kicked it up a notch, and I want to say the ending was so satisfactory that if they do a season 4, it will completely ruin it. So I enjoyed it. Definitely a must watch.
I agree. It was season 1 was good.
I saw season 1.
Season 1 was dope. Season 2, it's also dope, but it has like better action sequences, I would say. Both seasons are fine. When they ended season 2, I was like, that was cool. If they ended it there, that was actually a pretty satisfying ending. The gas got saved for this last season. The scale was up, like the motives, even though our main characters, without spoiling too much, our main characters, they are in a different place in life when they go into this last game, to where when they announced a season 3, I was like, nah, they have no reason to go back. Why would they? What reason would they possibly have to go back? They have to give a very specific reason on why they would, after going through all that crap in season 1 and 2, to escape it and then make the active choice to dive back into that thresher. And then you see why. It's like, okay, that worked. And then to your point, Seven, just to give that more gas, the ending ultimately was so satisfying that I'm like, you can't go back. For you to go back, you're only going to do yourself a disservice. You're going to chop away as good at that ending as you made it. You're just going to undermine it if you go back and make another season. So I think we're good. This is a dope one. Way better than Squid Games. Its season 3 was garbage, but this is like, we got this.
You didn't. It was a totally different tone, and I'm not sure if I was satisfied with the ending because he didn't really. The lead character really didn't. I guess you could say the payoff wasn't there.
Are we talking about Squid Game or
just
Squid Game? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Squid Game. It was. They added pieces in season 2 that they didn't pay off well at all in season 3. What they did to the main character, I think, Xing him out at the end of the day would have made sense, but it wasn't really. It wasn't any kind of like layered drama to it. It just happens, and then the series is done. And I thought it was a waste.
Right.
The games were whatever. Characters just die off unsaid. I mean, we get that like no plot armor is a thing, but the way that they killed off characters in Squid Game was just so random and unceremonious. And it's like all that any tension that you built with that character, any like type of layers, were just done. They're just gone. Alice in Borderland season 3 does not have that problem. Characters who die, like there are certain deaths in this that have you go, oh crap, I just met this character, but I felt that. So it was hitting, man. It was good.
And the games in season 3,
insane,
top tier,
insane. Yes,
top
the
tier.
games insane this season. That was arguably for me like the best game set out of all of them. Those were some crazy scales that they had that.
And you know what? I'd have to say this: the ending of season 2, how they incorporated the world of season 2 into season 3 and took it a step further, masterful.
They went a little Inception on us with that last little layer, but I dug it. It makes the idea that, so when you're in that kind of limbo state between life and death, like minutes, really, because we find out they were only all out effectively for a minute when that whole game took place. I'm like, that's nuts. That's crazy game. It's crazy show. What? 2 minutes you got is days in that world. Like, all right. Good show.
All right, and let's see here. We also have on the table Evil Dead Rising, which is his sequel.
It was the movie, right?
It's like the newest iteration of the Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah, the sequel to the remake version. Because there was another one that they'd made that was just Evil Dead. That one was crazy. Evil Dead Rise is the direct sequel to that one. It too is crazy. And somewhat, well, I won't say arguably more, because just the way that part 1 plays out, you have this whole psychotic framework of just this whole force is effectively evil, and it will maim, kill, mess with you in any way, shape, or form. The second one, Rise, is an apartment complex. So I love the kind of switch where now we've gone from like rural forest to urban concrete, and then this whole idea that what if it was from outside, you brought the thing inside your home and turned the whole place into the site of the horror site, the whole gothic horror thing. So
Wait a minute, I thought I didn't see this, but I did see it because the elevator played a big role in this, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It goes down. The mom,
Yeah.
who I gotta find the actress because she did a good job on this.
She did a great job.
She was so creepy. Yeah. She is effectively the first person to go, and is our main villain of the whole joint,
which is awesome.
She's the boss of the whole joint. And when it comes to how she rolls these kids, dude,
right?
Kobe from One Piece got us messed up with this one because he plays Danny. He reads that he has that thing on the record. It plays. I'm like, your family's washed, bro. And that's exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah.
They were done.
Lily Sullivan.
There we go. She was in this other show called Vikings. She played the second wife of the main character's dude. She was badass in that one too. She was pretty cool. And till she wasn't. But go watch it. Yeah. It's very Game of Thrones, Norse mythology type of stuff. Well, they have Norse mythology in it, but it's like the Norse Vikings and all that crap.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it finished?
It's done. It's been done. But she plays like kind of like she's royalty, but she also marries into like warrior kinship. So she does a whole Game of Thrones-ish type of thing. It's nuts. It's alright. It's interesting. But in this, she plays the mom. She's a tattoo artist.
Mm-hmm.
And her kids, man, got her messed up in more ways than one.
Yeah.
She becomes probably one of the best like horror villains I've seen in quite a few years.
Wow.
In a while. Man, she was so good when she was at the door and she was a little idiot. The one little kid, open the door for me, sweetie, and she looks through the peephole and she's just got that twacked out. Yeah, she's all bloody because she's been walking the halls killing people. Let me in, hon. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. This was good. This is a good pre-Halloween or Halloween night movie for sure.
Totally a Halloween season movie.
And then definitely, how many can you say that convincingly? Which is good. You could see this like if you had like an ultimate Halloween day, this should be on every Halloween.
Put it on the list. The previous one, the original Evil Dead's 2, just for the giggles, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And this fits right into the timeline of the whole Evil Dead franchise. It was great.
Mm-hmm. And maybe even the show version that they made too, because I know that I got 3-4 episodes in and I set it down that has who's the guy's name? Ash's Evil Dead.
Right.
I'm not sure if it ties into that world or if it's its own thing, but all those are definitely in the wheelhouse of good horror stuff to check out.
Mm-hmm. No, that was definitely awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll wait till the end. Talk about New York Comic-Con real quick. So I'll say leave that. So sorry, folks. I should have said that in the beginning. But yes, I will be mentioning that. But I could imagine, hey, you went to New York Comic-Con. Aren't you going to talk about that episode? And we'll talk about that later.
I thought that was going to be its own episode after the movie pop culture stuff. So.
Yeah, kind of its own thing and stretch. So, all right, so let's go. Oh, okay, so very interesting series, Demascus. I would like to do, because I think this will be a great conversation for another show, but just bringing it up as a topic of conversation, just how things can change in Hollywood. So this series, Demascus, was, I believe, it was set to launch, everything was going to go, and then it was shelved for a tax write-off. So for all you young writers out there, or aspiring writers, that doesn't matter what age you are, you can do a show. You can get stars involved. They'll film it, edit everything, and they can shelve the show. You hear this a lot in the music industry, people shelving people's albums. Well, guess what? Series can be shelved as well. So this was shelved, and Tubi decided to buy over the show. And now it's like a huge hit. Which is great. It just shows that, like, if you spend all this money for the show, you get all these people involved, put it out. So definitely, I would like to talk about this in another show, just because not only the triumph of getting this release, but now it's a hit, and it starts off a little wonky, but it quickly regains its merits for sure. Script writing, the concept. I think there's a lot of interesting conversation that could come from watching this show. And I said earlier to someone that this is what Insecure should have been. Like Drew, we talk about how the female characters in Insecure were half baked, and I feel like with this, there is some learning as well as processing about pop culture and how people interact and perception stereotypes. In short, this story is about a gentleman that seeks therapy, and there's this new alternative way of doing therapy where you can see your life going in different paths, and sometimes seeing your personality in life be a totally different person if other choices were made. And every time you go into these scenarios, it's an opportunity to learn more about yourself.
So it's like a really long Black Mirror episode that they made into a series.
100%.
Or the game in Alice in Borderlands where you literally saw versions of your life play out in different scenarios. That was, remember? They were going from room to room. They had to these points.
Spoiler.
I mean, it was there the whole time you're describing that 7. I'm like, dude, that's the game. Was from Alice in Borderlands.
That game was tough.
That was it was tough for them. I could have powered through that one, bro. You're showing me holograms. You're showing me images. These could be deep fakes. I'm not going to base this off of, my life is good. Definitely going to go this route if I go into this door. Like, no. I'm going to get to that.
But the psychological anguish of, I need to go out of this maze, but if I go through this door, this is going to be my future? Like, that is that really
There's
how
no
you want to get out?
guarantee of that. Sure, you see images of what could be a pleasant or unpleasant future. There's no guarantee of that. I'm more baffled by how did they shoot the 100 million arrows than how are they showing me these deep fakes of what my life could be. This is your life, maybe. Here's just footage. You don't know if this is actually going to happen to you in your life.
We have blimps that self-exploded, so...
I don't know. The one where it goes all red, and then they start, like, trolling you with negative images, I'm like, okay, that would suck, but I'm like, all right, let me finish the round so I can get out of here, please. This one sucks.
Do you think this is the route that film should go? With playing with reality, especially with all the AI and everything, and questioning what is reality? Is this a path we want to see in more and more films, or is it dead and stinking? Like, it's done.
I'd prefer that they do stuff like freaking people out with the possibility than the whole multiverse thing, because Hollywood's played the multiverse thing to death. It's done. So rather play with the angle of this could be your life. What was the other show that did this? It was a robot thing. Oh, Westworld. Anybody remember that one?
Yeah, that started out
really
strong.
That though.
The first 2 seasons, very good. The other seasons sucked. But the last seasons did do an interesting sci-fi thing where they said, what if the program figured out everybody's futures or made an estimate of what their futures would be, and then we gave it to them. And that sparked turmoil because everyone now knows that you'll be dead in 5 years. You'll be bankrupt in 5 years. You'll be divorced in 2 years. Your son's an alcoholic. Your daughter's doing prawn. Like, it gives you all these details about your life that you didn't want, and society unravels. That's fascinating.
So I didn't finish Westworld, so you're telling me to go back and finish it. Okay.
I screwed it up. I screwed it for you. But
no, that's fine. Most people didn't even know that was a movie before they made it into a show. But
I know. It was
the
Michael
thing about.
Crichton. I think it was Michael. That was Michael Crichton that did that one.
I think so.
Westworld, yeah, pretty sure that was one of his. But at any rate, you're saying
the thing about this Demascus show. It's interesting that it was written in 2022. Supposed to be launched by AMC in 2023. In 2025, it's a hit. And we've already had leaps and bounds of virtual reality and AI.
Right.
Do I want to see a show that pretty much mirrors reality? I use movies and shows to escape reality. I don't want it to mirror reality. So if they can do something different, or something that hasn't been thought of the use, I think I would be more interested than another Black Mirror episode.
That's deep. I hear what you're saying. Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess technology is moving so fast that, yeah, you're right. I mean, what we imagined yesterday is now reality today. So you really have to really create a lot further. That's a good point. I mean,
I have a slightly more bleak take on that.
Go for it, Drew. I was waiting for it.
Escapism is okay to a degree. We all have things that we use to escape, just the kind of doldrum and everyday stress. It keeps one sane. But my thing is, keep those warnings coming. Because if we are in the end days, we're always talking about how we're in the end of days. Civilization's always on the brink. We're always about to get, wiped out, or something some catastrophe is always supposed to happen. But it's the idea of if these are going right before the next crazy chaotic paradigm shift in society or history or whatever, leave these little markers of what we were thinking about, where our ideas and thoughts were in technology and society. We need these little I guess you could say notes to ourselves to log the time, date, circumstance of our lives. Where was the human mind at when we wrote this Black Mirror episode that mirrored literally how we get down now, or the result of what that choice was with AI, with the idea of putting all your information into just the cloud, and effectively your entire consciousness is there. It's what are the pros and cons of that? If we do make that someday, if we can all literally beam up and just be in the internet, what are the lessons that we had guiding us to and through that?
That's an interesting point, because there was a Black Mirror episode about social media and how you had to attain coins or some type of monetary value to use social media.
Right.
And now it's implemented in China today.
They use that now, the social currency. That was season 1, 7 million credits.
Right. And they were doing that in China before that series, before that came out.
Was this before or after?
I thought it was after.
I heard it was after.
No, they were doing that before.
I'll check. I'll double check that, but I heard it was. I saw the episode. I'm like, that's crazy. You have social credits that you have to use. Once you get past a certain amount, you have to start spending stuff. And then in China, they had a similar thing.
Right.
I'm like, wow, it's literally science fiction is us kind of talking to ourselves about the past, present, and kind of predicting the future.
Yeah, there was a guy that was saying that he can't buy a house now. He can't get an apartment because, he doesn't have the social credits,
the social credits. If you piss people off in the government, if you say something that your government or culture doesn't like, they will nuke your social credit score. You can't walk into certain establishments. There's a thing that'll read you. You can't walk into certain places. It's wild, man. It's very wild. So that stuff, I don't just the lie to me thing sometimes, but I need funnel me in that real stuff with some good writing and some good acting, and I'm in.
Right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say lie to me, because if you think about Tenet, Tenet is one of my favorite movies, and how they use time as a sequence and the fourth dimension. We don't have that. We aren't capable of getting to that level. So watching a movie of possibilities, it's not really a lie. I think it's more of a what if.
See where you're going.
Does that make sense?
Kind of see where you're going with it. But I mean, I think both of you, if you mash up both your ideas of just that's the point of sci-fi, is to warn people, entertain, but make you think, but at the same time, I want to see something that does not exist, not just being a Black Mirror, right? of today. I want to be a Black Mirror foreshadowing a future that we need to avoid. So, but it all has its place, as long as it's good stories. So I would say this. I will table next week things on New York Comic Con, but and I would like to not only their releases, and there's some great photos on our social media, GEEKCASTER on Instagram, and you could go to YouTube and see some of the interviews and great, So I definitely want to talk about Crunchyroll next week and the different things going on like that. But also the impact. There's some constant conversations that I've seen over the last couple of years that every year seems to pop up, and I would love to talk with you guys about that, your feedback, and hopefully get some comments from people out there. Thank you very much for checking us out, and please continue to do so. We would like also just to build up more interaction. Like, what do you guys want to see? People that you want us to interview? Invite some people that we met at New York Comic Con onto the show. My biggest thing that I thought that was interesting, that was super simple, was Crunchyroll's update of their app. As much as that's such a simple thing, they made it really streamlined to go from anime, and if that particular brand, that content had manga, you just quickly press a button. As much as it's simple, I thought that was one of the most interesting things in the con, as simple as it was. But we'll talk next time, for sure. Before we go, is there anything you guys want to mention or you think that came out between now and our last show that you thought was interesting?
Between this one and the last show, I can't think of too much.
Content,
covered it.
Tech, anything?
There's always something, but at the moment, I think I'm up to date. You guys?
So out of nowhere on Netflix, Halo has a series, and it's actually pretty good.
Didn't they already have one?
So they had animated, they had regular shows, but this is a Netflix production of Halo, and it actually goes into the lore and a little bit more. It's pretty good.
Do they
Even
not
if
hate
you've
this
never
one?
watched it?
They hated the other Halo that came out.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so we'll check that out. Well, so hopefully we'll talk about Demascus next week. We'll talk about Halo. We'll talk about New York Comic Con and the future of comic book conventions, where we've been, where we're at, and where potentially we might be going. And buzz on some tech. I mean, I think the iPhone dropped for orders, but I don't know anyone with the new iPhones yet.
The 17, it's out. I know somebody who picked it up. The 17 Pro.
They're happy with it?
Yeah. And so far, if you're a previous iPhone user, 14, 15, 16, you can actually, there's an update. It's not going to automatically update. It's a choice for you to update to the new iOS system that 17 uses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it, and it's different, and it's fun.
It's fun?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. All right. You're watching GEEKCASTER, and we're out.